As all of you know, the Jamaican government has decided to not renew contracts to Cuban doctors and nurses working in Jamaica.
We're in the end game now. And it is most unfortunate that most people do not understand what is going on in the world. All of these things are connected. We are on a steady march to the 2030 timeline. And if you are unaware of what this 2030 timeline is that I'm talking about, unfortunately, you will be one of those people that the rapture leaves behind. You will be one of those people who didn't make it on the ark. You will be one of those people who was left in Sodom and Gomorrah. Just so you understand the reference. The decision by the Jamaican government to discontinue the doctor exchange with Cuba was not made by the Jamaican government. It was made for the Jamaican government by the United States of America. Jamaica is not being run by the Jamaican Parliament. The 63 puppets that we have as elected representatives is just for show. Almost all governments are for show. I had warned prior to the most recent general elections that should the Jamaica Labour Party wins the election, then Jamaicans would be in for a very difficult time because Andrew Holness was selected by the global leaders as the agent to usher Jamaica in and make Jamaica compliant with the 2030 agenda. In the history of the relationship, the bilateral relationship between Jamaica and Cuba, Cuba's always been fair in its dealings with Jamaica. I don't recall there ever been any kind of animosity or overt disagreement between the government of Jamaica and the government of Cuba. We have always maintained friendly relations. And what is happening now? The narrative, of course, they have to give you some bullshit story about there was a breakdown in negotiations and blah blah blah. But you saw in the news, I think it was last week, where the United States openly threatened Jamaica. This is coming off the heels of them going into Venezuela and kidnapping the president and bringing him to the United States of America for trial on narcotics and whatever bullshit charge they want to trump up. Discounting the fact that, okay, even if the charges are correct, what America did was engaged in an act of war. If any country were to go into the United States of America and snatch any diplomat, anybody, not even the president, just anybody, a senator, a mayor, any government official from the United States of America, it would be an act of war. It would be an act of war. Yet the US did it. And now they start this war with Iran, an unprovoked act of aggression. Iran didn't do anything to them. And the reasons that they're giving for why they are waging this war with Iran is the same reasons that they have had for the past 40 years. It's the same reason why they went to Afghanistan. And now we know in 2026 that those reasons were outright lies. Sometimes I find that people don't understand, especially black people and especially Jamaicans, they don't really understand things until they're back against the wall. You talk from now till you're blue in the face, and it's when the thing is literally happening to them, at which point it is too late, that Jamaican begins to understand that, oh wow, this shit is real and we need to take decisive action. So this is just one decision. In many more decisions to come, we're going to see the systematic destruction of the Jamaican people and the Jamaican economy. Because we're on a slow march to destruction. People do not want to believe that you have a group of people running the world who wants to see many of us dead. That's just that is why a lot of the decisions that you're going to see from now until 2028 not going to make any sense. It's just not going to make any sense. And it's not going to make it's not going to make any sense to you because you are uninformed and unaware and don't know what is going on. And it is excruciatingly vexing when we sit and we see these things happening, we knew they were going to start a war once the Epstein files were released. Because that's what you do. If you watch House of Cards, that's what Frank did when his thing came out. He just started a war. And President Trump is planning this war also is a pretext. So it's going to be like a prolonged campaign leading up to the next general election. Because what people do not understand is that because they're game planning this out, People do not understand that if America declares war against another country, elections are suspended. So at the end of Trump's term, if he declares war, so America officially declares war and is at war with a country or whatever, there are no general elections and Donald Trump remains the president of the United States until such time as that war is resolved. People didn't know that. And if you think I'm lying, there is an interview with Steve Bannon on the internet. Google it.
He's going to get a third term. So Trump 28. Trump is going to be president 28. And people just sort of get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is. But there's a plan. We had longer odds in 16 and longer odds in 24 than we got in 28. And President Trump will be the president of the United States. And the country needs him to be president of the United States. We have to finish what we started. Trump is a vehicle. I know this will drive you guys crazy, but he's a vehicle of divine providence. He's an instrument. He's very imperfect. He's not churchy, not particularly religious. But he's an instrument of divine will, and you can tell this of how he's pulled this off. We need him for at least one more term, right? And he'll get that in 28.
You're not driving me crazy. I'm trying to understand the coherence of the things you've just told me. On the one hand, you've said the Constitution is fit for purpose. Secondly, you've said that President Trump needs another term, even though the 22nd Amendment makes pretty clear that he cannot have another term.
Why does it make that clear?
Because he's on his second term already.
At some point in time, we will make sure we go through, Zanny, and define all those terms.
But you will be undermining the spirit of that amendment, even if you find some way around it.
If the American people, with the mechanisms we have, put Trump back in office, are the American people tearing up the Constitution? Would that be tearing up?
Well,
would the American people be going against the spirit of the Constitution, ma'am?
I think yes, actually, because I think what you will end up with is a populist justification for a quasi.
That's what they're planning to do. And all of this is leading into 2030. I personally do not see how they're going to make the 2030 unless they drop a nuclear bomb somewhere, which I don't know how that would work, because these bombs don't. When you drop a nuclear bomb, that's it. Wherever you drop it, that's the end of that area. So I don't know how that is going to serve them. But they're building their bunkers because they're fucking stupid. I don't know how you're going to survive an apocalypse and why you would want to survive anyway. But I know I'm kind of rambling here, but it is. I don't know if it is high time, because I'm just frustrated with how people have weaponized their own ignorance. It's like we refuse to wake up to the reality that we are faced with. And we see these crazy things happening, and we just do not want to understand why they're happening. Crying flow not go help the situation. It doesn't help anything. We have people in power who are treasonous and traitorous, and who are working actively against the interests of the people and working to kill us, literally. And unless we get these fucking people out of power, it is only going to get worse. Call me crazy, call me a conspiracy theorist, laugh at me, do whatever the hell you want. It's not going to change what the reality is. We see it happening. And if you want just a glimpse of how cruel and evil and villainous these people are, just take a look at some of the things that are in the Epstein files. And that's not even the tip of the iceberg. And these are the fucking people running the planet. But we want to sit and believe that, oh my God, people are saying these things are just crazy. It is up to you. You can weaponize your ignorance, or you can go get yourself informed. And then we can organize and get rid of these fuckers who are trying to kill us. This was not a decision made by the Jamaican government. This was a decision that was made for the Jamaican government, because we have we have an agent, just like Edward Seaga was an agent for the CIA. Andrew is now an agent for the United States of America, working against the interests of the Jamaican people. That's just the fucking truth. And we are on a slow march to the 2030 timeline. And if you don't know what they're planning for 2030, then God go with you.